Hi, everybody. The channel will always remain free, but for those of you who are interested in donating, check out the Patreon link in my description. Thank you.
And finally, and then I will bring in Dave Chappelle, because Dave is the man of the hour. Well, Tom says we need to break again before Dave Chappelle. Then bring Dave in now before
yeah,
that way.
Sit in here now.
Yeah.
I say we tease Chappelle, break.
I'll tease Chappelle.
Right.
I'll go, nya, Chappelle. And then...
And he'll do it back.
Right. I got to read this one letter. Here comes Dave. Let me say hi to him. Dave's so laid back, he's probably asleep. Hey, Dave. Hey, man. Look at you all successful.
Yeah, he's not even dressing any different.
Dave Chappelle turned down the Video Music Awards. I don't blame him.
Good idea.
Oh, they want him to host?
Everybody comes off bad on those. You know what I mean?
Except for Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's good on it.
Good job.
Hey, even Chris Rock sometimes comes off bad.
No, he's done all right.
Hard guy to follow, man.
Is that what it was? Hard act to follow?
Oh, man. You know, it's just too much planning and preparation and stress and stuff.
For no money.
You don't have to.
Yeah, man, I got other fish to fry. I'm rich now. That's
right.
My
I should have
rest.
called you a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Are you rich now from the Comedy Central show?
No, I haven't got no money yet.
But the DVD, they say, is selling well, and you get a piece of that.
Let's hope so, man. You know.
You better.
Yeah, they're for real, right?
Go get that, man.
Yeah.
Well, you get to go back into the coffers and get some money from the DVDs they already sold, though, right?
I don't know, man.
No. Stop it. You just signed a $50 million deal or something?
That's what I read in the paper.
Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
Don't be embarrassed by your wealth.
I'm not, all right.
It's going to show up on that website anyway, the contract.
I haven't signed the deal yet.
Get close to that microphone, Dave.
I haven't signed the deal yet.
Don't sign it. You can do better.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Now that all this publicity
Howard, what were you like a month ago, man?
You know where to be found now that you became big.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, it's exciting.
Comedy Central is acting like it's a done deal. They said, of course we had to make a deal. It was very important for us to make this deal.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is. I'm a little nervous just because it's me in corporate America, but I feel like, you know.
You know what's weird? I used to say to my kids, hey, you know who I know? Dave Chappelle. Because we've hung out a little bit. And they'd be like, well, who's that? And now my daughters call me, they go, Dave Chappelle show is the best.
Right.
I go, I know that guy.
He is beloved.
Make me a hero with my kids.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God you got something going on, huh, man? Things were getting a little rough.
It took
me a long time.
Yes, really. This show was my career. When am I doing Howard again?
I know.
I appreciate that, by the way.
Think nothing of it. I think you're a huge talent. Yeah. I believed in you.
Man, I look forward to coming back and wishing people cancer.
Yeah. Wish someone cancer. Go ahead. It feels great. Vincent Gallo did it. You can do it.
I don't know. It's hard to wish somebody cancer. Give me a minute, and I'm sure I can think of something.
You hate people in show business, don't you? There are people who
I hate show business.
Comedians.
I hate show business in general.
Yeah.
I like performing.
Yeah, but you've met people in the business who have been absolutely wicked to you. Why do you protect these people?
I don't protect them. I just, man, hating somebody is very time-consuming.
You don't have time for it?
Not at this point in my life. You caught me when I was like 25. I hated everybody.
Right. It's the wrong time.
It's my only hobby, hating people. I have fun. I sit at home alone hating them.
How do you feel now that you've, sort of immortalized Rick James just before he died?
Man, all right, that was real weird. As a matter of fact, I never talked about this. I talked to him maybe 2 weeks before he died was the last time I'd spoken with him. Right when we was talking about doing a movie.
Really?
Yeah, he had written this book.
Well, he had to be thrilled.
Well, no. The thing was, right when we was getting ready to make the deal, he had second thoughts. Like, we had a conversation. He's like, there's certain elements of my life that I don't want to handle. I want to handle delicately. So
You're kidding me.
Delicately?
Well, yeah.
This the guy in jail for beating women and doing crack.
Yeah, when the burning scene,
what I was
thinking. Be tasteful.
Yeah, wait, so go ahead. So what did he want to handle delicately?
Well, I didn't know. So it was like this whole thing. We did a conference call, and I was, I'm not going to lie, I was mad. Like, man, because we was about to close the deal. But then it turned out, and this is kind of deep. He was worried about what his kids would think of some of the things he did.
Now he's worried.
Well, yeah, but you didn't. I mean, maybe it's one of the things you can tell you're gonna die. couple weeks before.
Oh, you're thinking that.
Oh.
And I'm thinking maybe he was worried about his legacy, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, you remember when the hippies were around, they used to have those beaded curtains when you walk through the doors?
Yeah.
To me, it always looked like he was walking through those curtains. You know what I mean? With all those beads and everything.
Yeah, he was a dynamic dude, though, man. I only met him like 3 times.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time I met him, he probably doesn't even remember. It was like in '92. I was staying at one of these L.A. hotels, and he used to just hang out in the lobby at the front desk.
Really?
And talk stuff to people, yeah.
You'd be like, hey, you got any crack?
That kind of stuff?
Not even.
But what about these people now who say that you basically killed him with your, whole, the way you
carrying on.
I don't know.
I mean, is that fair, really, to say that you are the murderer of Rick?
Said I killed Rick.
A lot of people are saying that now.
Chappelle did this stuff.
Did you ever see that sketch, Howard?
No.
Oh, my God, is it good?
Will you continue doing it?
Yeah, it's funny.
Nah, I don't run the characters into the ground. Maybe something like a tribute sketch.
You got to do it.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But it was like, for months after that, it almost drove me insane. I walk around people, I'm Rick James, bitch. I don't know how you do this thing, by the way.
What do you mean? I don't. What do? I hide.
I see you come out one time, you stuck your toe out of a limousine and was surrounded. I don't even know how they knew you was in the car.
I don't know either. And I'll tell you what, I'm fine. I mean, I just say hello to people and that's it. I've decided to live my life.
Maybe the king of all media license plate.
Well, you're used to it by this point.
Not only that, let's face it, you think with an ego like mine I could walk around and be a normal person? Wouldn't work. I'd miss it in a day. Listen. Why? Are you getting a lot? You must be getting a lot of attention from women now, man, with your TV show being a hit.
Go get
Come
them.
on.
Yeah, but I don't go out, like.
No, do
I
it.
live in Ohio. You know how I do, Howard.
Yeah, I know.
Get the hottest chick in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, if you look around for a while, yeah, I'm sure. You could.
Just put an ad in the paper. I want the hottest chick in Ohio.
And it's not like New York, where,
They got some pretty hot chicks in Ohio.
Oh, I've been there.
I'm not saying they don't. I mean, Halle Berry's from Ohio. They got some dime pieces out there. I'm just saying.
They leave, though.
What'd you say, some dime pieces?
Dime pieces. Barbershop talk.
So, you're not monogamous, though, are you?
Yeah, man,
really?
I have yet to cheat.
Really? Oh, you will.
How long have you been married, Jan?
4 years.
Oh, you're
That's enough.
young yet.
Well, then you're clearly gay.
No
cheating.
McGreevy's.
All right, listen. I'm getting yelled at through the computer that I got to take a break.
All right, cool.
Can you hang in there or
Yeah,
what?
I got nowhere to be.
Or are you so big now that you don't even hang
Is
out?
he going to do the quick, hey, Howard, I got to go?
I got a helicopter on the roof, baby. I'm making moves.
Now, you can see Dave Chappelle's comedy special, For What It's Worth, September 4th at 9 p.m. on Showtime. And Dave's going to be performing at the VMAs this Sunday night at 8 on MTV. So you won't be the host, but you will perform.
It's a lot of pressure, man. I had to do something.
Why are you getting into this?
I punked out because I hadn't signed a $50 million deal.
So you'll do stand-up or you'll just be a presenter?
I don't know what I'm doing.
You got a little bit, don't you? You got something planned.
No, man. To be honest, I'm completely winging it.
Okay.
Really?
As of now, I'm completely winging it.
All right.
All right.
Figured I'd show up.
Yeah, the Video Music Awards are fun, especially those parties afterward.
Yeah, they got a lot of parties going on.
All those little whores running around.
Everybody's looking for something that night.
Yeah.
And Miami, no less. I'm sure that'll be insane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, forget
It's gonna
about
be
it.
insane.
When is that?
Sunday.
Saturday.
Saturday or Sunday?
I think it comes. I don't know.
I might have to go down there with you.
Maybe
I'm leaving today. I got to go down there today.
All right. I know they're coming on TV on Sunday. I don't know when they're actually taping it.
Maybe Saturday or Sunday. It's this weekend.
I think me and Benji are going to fly down for that.
Let's go to Gay Ramon. What do you want?
Hello?
Yes, Gay.
Hello?
Yes, Gay Ramon.
Yes, I have a question for Dave. You didn't answer me last time. David, are you cut or uncut? I need to know that, please.
Are you circumcised?
Here.
Why do you need to know that?
Because he's pleasuring himself.
You and my boyfriend are identical twins.
What?
You and his boyfriend are identical twins.
That's disgusting. Keep going.
Oh, David,
Keep going.
every time we do it, I think of you.
Why do you need to know if he's cut or
By
uncut?
the way, I need to know, too.
Because my boyfriend's cut, and I need to know if he's cut on.
How identical are you to
Dave, why won't you answer that?
That's gross.
We actually keep track of our guests. We have a catalog in our computer of who is cut.
Cut and not cut.
Why don't you? I would imagine that you are uncut and that you are natural.
That's my last privacy, man.
And at least 10 inches.
And 10 inches? Wow.
Underestimated me once again.
Yes, Bob, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
Yeah.
Dave, I'm a big fan of yours, and I just wanted to know why one of my jokes actually ended up on your show one night.
Oh, really?
What is the joke?
I'm going to beat my blank like it owes me money. It was in one of the songs.
Oh, because you're a hack.
I'm a hack and you're taking my stuff.
I'm going to beat my blank like it owes me money. You wrote that?
Yes, I did write that, and I've been doing it for years, and it's been my opening line.
Oh, that's barbershop talk. And that's your opening line?
Yes. Well, it was on your show. I guess you liked it.
I must have seen you at a hole in
Well, you were at Caroline's one night for the Nasty Show with some of your friends that were in the audience.
Yeah, I was. You're right. I lift material from. What's your name again?
What was that?
What's your name again?
Reverend Bob Levy. I was on the show with you a couple times.
Oh, Bob Levy.
Oh, Bob, that's you.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the Reverend Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, look at Bob. You think Dave's taking your material?
No,
Bob,
I'm saying his writers are dropping the ball and they're getting lazy.
Man, nobody stole from you.
Do you get accused of that a lot, Dave, now that you're a big star?
Yeah, I went on at a club 2 nights ago, and then last night there was like a Page 6 reporter called, like, we heard that Dave was on stage and it went terrible, he bombed, and, all this fabricated stuff. But I look at it like,
I got accused of ripping off Johnny Carson. I couldn't believe it. That's when I got mad at the reporter. No, I don't even like Johnny Carson.
Yeah, but Johnny Carson hasn't even done anything in how many years?
That's what I mean. I was shocked. I said, I have pride in myself on being original.
I got accused of being drunk on stage just last week.
That happens every week, Artie.
Bunch of crap.
All right, Bob, Dave says he did not steal from you.
I'm not saying it was him, but I'm saying it was probably one of his writers in the audience at the show. And they threw it in there.
You said I was in the audience stealing.
I know. You were at the show. You were at Caroline's. You were at the bar, and your friends came in. KC was there that night.
I promise you, Bob, nobody steals jokes on the show. I promise you. It's primarily me and one other dude. So
I've been doing that for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's on the show.
I don't know, man.
All right, Bob. Hey, Bob, what can I tell you?
The writers did a good job.
I don't know. Maybe great minds think alike.
Right. All right, Bob, thanks.
You got it.
Reverend Bob Levy.
Jeez Louise, man. Gangbanging. I beat my blank like it owes me money. Show business is rough, baby. Let me tell you that right now.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're at the top of the game. You got to...
I know. I got to get that alligator skin.
Mm-hmm.
You fought to get here.
No, oops. This is what you always wanted to think.
All right, let me take a break. You got to calm down. I mean, you've just been accused of some serious things.
That's right, yeah.
Right. Why don't we take a break? I even see a woman on the phone who wants to date you.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Right.
We know what that turns out.
That's what Charlie Murphy said is the top hoes in the industry. Top hoes.
By the way, I don't want to say anything, but Reverend Bob Levy's been doing Rick James for years.
Is that right?
Oh, that's so messed up. Rick James.
All right, we're going to take a break. Dave Chappelle's here, comedy special for what it's worth, September 4th at 9 p.m. on Showtime. We'll be back right after these words.
You like it when a girl kisses you down there?
Sometimes.
Monica, why don't you tell her you're kissing her down there?
That's not one of my,
That's not what?
I call it none of your stick. Yes, none of my
stick.
You're right, Hazel.
Well, it would please your president if you'd kiss Hazel down there right now.
Well, I'm going to have to pass on that one, Ben. I'm sorry.
Are you fresh down there, Hazel?
No, I'm just sitting. I took me a shower sitting on the couch there and watching television.
Well, you know what? Maybe we should just sing High Hopes. Just what makes that ant think he can move that rubber tree plant? Oops, there it goes, another rubber tree plant. Oops, there it goes, another rubber Hazel, tree plant. You join in.
I'm just thinking about my little grandchildren. Two little, each mine eyes.
Well, Monica has grandchildren too, don't you, Monica?
I have a few of them.
Oops, there it goes, another rubber tree. All right. I guess good night, everybody.
Okay, Bill, you take care now. Okay, God bless you. And you too, Hazel. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye, sweetie.
Oh, man, that's the best.
God bless you.
Way to go, Benji. That's a good one.
Good stuff, buddy.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Too bad we have to bleep it so heavily.
Yeah.
It's really funny to hear those old bats talking about
dirty stuff.
Dirty stuff.
Okay, Bill. Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm bleeping in my bleep.
She was in on the joke and you couldn't get her to do something. She said, I ain't going to go there. But.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. Hazel seemed to be ready for that. And the other woman said, wait a minute.
Yeah, Monica said, hey, no.
A lot of these broads in the old age home, man, they're wild. I'll tell you, you think you can't get any in an old age home, but you can.
There's action to be had.
Yeah.
Well, you always say it's easy to get laid at like a burn center or an old age home.
It's the best place to go.
Who knew the nursing home was good?
Burn center.
Well, you just get a girl's burned like on her back. Lay her down on her back. You don't know the difference. I'm serious.
Yeah. Heidi Klum gets fourth degree burn. She'll be knocking on your door.
That's right. She'll be doing all of us.
Man, I got to go to Miami today, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Miami, we did a show and OJ came.
Really? OJ's a fan of yours?
He showed up?
Yeah, OJ.
Is OJ a fan?
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. See, I'd met him. I'd met him like before that. I went to dinner with my agents.
Before he killed 2 people?
No, this was after the, this was right after the trial. And I was at dinner with my agents at this restaurant. So obviously I'm the only black person there. And
why is that? Why are you always the only black person?
Because I was with my agents. They take me to these places, man.
There's not a lot of black agents. That's true.
Well, the only other black person in the restaurant was OJ. I didn't see him at first.
Right.
And then he walked by.
Yeah, your agents aren't black. They're white guys.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's the only black guy.
Artie was saying there's black agents.
No, I said there's not a lot of black agents.
Oh, okay.
But you know, OJ's date wasn't black. So it's just you and him.
No, but there was like a plethora of girls. Remember, he had just gotten out of prison.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he was sort of some sort of bizarre sex symbol at that point because
he was the most famous guy on earth at that point. And when I saw him, I was like, oh, snap. I was like, OJ.
But did people cheer him when he walked in, or they boo him? I would imagine they were...
No, it was... Remember, we the only black people. They were horrified. So then I seen him. I'm like, OJ. And he looked over and he started coming over. I didn't mean to call him, but I was just...
You were like
it just
stunned.
came out.
Yeah, he was famous. So anyway... He comes over and then...
hello, how are you?
Does he try to hug you?
Yeah, he shook my hand and said hello to everyone at the table. Nobody said hi back. and then
because you don't know what to do, right?
Well, yeah, I shook his hand, and then when he left, and everyone was like, well, how could you shake that murderer's hand? Murder ran for 2,200 yards, man. You got to remember the good times.
You're shaking the football player's hand.
You were respecting the guy who didn't kill the 2 people.
Yeah, and then... In Miami, it was, he came to the show, man, and I saw him. But the night before, his kids came, nicest kids I've ever met in my life.
Wouldn't you be nice, too, if OJ was your dad?
No, I'm
You're not going to act up.
The kids was well-adjusted.
Yeah.
They're adjusted all right.
We had a long conversation about what fame does to children, and then the next
But don't you love when you see OJ's kids interviewed now, and OJ interviewed, he still insists on doing interviews, and he'll go, yeah, my daughter... what's her name?
God, I forget.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney, just like her mother, she's very stubborn, very hard-headed,
And sometimes I get angry at her mother for not being there for her.
Yeah, that's the best. And OJ goes, I wish I still had that interview here.
She was mad pretty. But he was,
Sydney's kind of cute now. She slimmed down, right?
She's gorgeous. Like,
yeah.
She's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
But, what happened? He came the next night.
Again?
No, his kids came one night,
right.
And then, like, the next night he came, and, what did he say? Oh, he says after the show, he was sitting, like, kind of in the front, so it was really uncomfortable, like, because I didn't want to scare any white people by just mentioning that OJ is in here.
Right.
Ah, it's like screaming fire in the building.
Like Frankenstein, everyone just ran out.
But after the show, he was like, you could have made fun of me if you wanted to.
Oh, that's nice.
I can take it. I mean, he's like, you should tell me that before the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he tells you after.
He's expecting you to make fun of him.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Nicole used to make fun of me. Yeah, just like you, wise ass.
But, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I can't.
Well, do you feel this conflict because you're a black man and then a lot of black people don't want to admit that OJ killed those people?
Black
and you're conflicted?
It's not that black people don't say that as much as... For black people, it's like watching a game show.
Right.
You always root for the black people. It's like watching that court case and white people,
like a game.
if you look at it, you think, oh my gosh, the murders and this and that. And black people just look like, man, this brother's in serious trouble.
Will he get off?
Yeah, so we,
So it's a weird kind of thing for you. There's OJ. And,
OJ's now your buddy.
You know, and
I wouldn't say he's my buddy, man, but I mean, you know.
Did you exchange numbers with OJ?
No.
You never went out to dinner?
Hello, Dave.
I don't exchange numbers and nothing like that, but it was one of these. It was a little weird.
You know, if anybody could have done it, you could have been up on stage and gotten OJ to crack and admit that he murdered. Bring him up there under the light.
Like Perry Mason, just start drilling him.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, meeting OJ. We tried to get OJ on the show. We've tried every which way.
We've had OJ on the phone. We've had him close, remember?
You know, one time,
what did he say on the phone?
Well, one time LT was in here. And I'm talking to LT, the great Lawrence Taylor.
Oh,
yeah, they're friends.
They're friends. LT loves OJ. They go golfing together. He didn't care. You know, what's in the past is in the past.
He says he's never asked. He doesn't even want to know.
That's the kind of thing.
You don't bring up.
You're not going to bring that up. I was with him, and you be thinking about it, but it's just like, I'm not going to bring that up.
Well, so LT was here, and he goes, hey, you know, we were goofing on him that he was hanging out with OJ, and the next thing you know, he puts me on the phone with OJ off the air, like he hands me his cell phone. OJ wants to speak to you. Hey, Howard, why are you busting my balls out? Because maybe he killed 2 people. You know what I'm saying?
He's acquitted.
He is acquitted.
He is acquitted.
He is. You got to stand by that, I guess.
I mean, come on, man. I don't know.
Well, it's weird. There's a report in the Inquirer that his daughter, like, he's so controlling OJ that what he's doing now is he tries to keep all books and articles away from her so that she will not be able to see any bad reports on OJ.
Are you kidding? He's got to work all day at that.
Well, all day he's busy, right?
Well, in the tabloids this week, the story is like, when your daughter went to college, there was no article that says Howard's daughter goes to college.
Right.
But the headline this week in the Inquirer is, Sydney escapes OJ by going to college.
Oh, that's messed up.
But you know it is. You know she fights with OJ.
I mean, but that's...
She's called the police on OJ.
That's the 18-year-old girl and the dad. I mean, you know.
Stop it.
Come on now, let's be real.
Stop it.
But her dad killed her mother.
Well,
got to be a little bit of a
allegedly.
Oh, dude.
Listen.
Oh, come on.
There's room for denial.
Well, I wasn't there. You got a point.
I mean, I'm just saying.
As tough as it is for you, it's got to be really tough for her.
That's my point.
Right.
In her mind, it's like, come on, man, there's some room for denial. You know, someone from the outside could say, hey, man, you know, whatever.
Would you date Sydney? Let's say you were single. I mean, knowing that OJ's going to be maybe a father-in-law, you got to deal with him, and like maybe if you do something wrong, she tells OJ, and then OJ comes and kills you.
Yeah, he could snap.
Yeah. I mean, you know he can snap. He's already done it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to, you know. I don't know, man. Shoot, that's a big hypothetical. I mean, let's picture this. I'm not married. Let's say she's my age. Or,
Right age group. Certainly attractive.
OJ's my dad. Like, well, let me ask you this, though. Is it like, do I got to have Thanksgiving at his house?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're in the world of OJ.
Sure. If I could cut the turkey.
Yeah. It'd be a little weird.
He said I could make fun of him. So.
You must be meeting more and more celebrities now that the Comedy Central thing's taken off.
I meet celebrities. Yeah, I do. I've been meeting them now. But I don't.
Where do you meet them?
Like Knicks game. I saw Robin at the Knicks game.
Yeah, he gets mobbed at the Knicks game.
Oh, do you get the front row seats now?
I had the Jay-Z seats, man. I was pretty excited, man.
Who do you take with you when you go?
No, I was there with my writing partner, Neil, I write the show with.
Yeah.
And
who is Neil? Who's this guy?
Neil's my buddy, man. He used to work the door at the Boston Comedy Club. When I first moved to New York, we were both like 17.
And you write the whole show together, just him and you?
Primarily, yeah. But the vast majority of it.
Wow.
And of course, Bob Levy, apparently.
He kicks in a few jokes every once in a while.
Yeah. The show would have been nothing without that penis joke. I had to take it.
You pretty much would have been a failure without it. I think it's become your signature. Yes, Captain Jenks.
Yeah, good morning, Howard. It's funny that Bob Levy called in because I've been hearing from several different people that Chappelle's going around telling people that he invented the Howard Stern phony phone call.
That's right, he did. He's going around telling people
that. That was my thing, Howard. That was I've been prank calling people for many years and doing phone calls, making them up myself.
Ted, you're on the air. You're on with the great Dave Chappelle.
Hey, Charlie Murphy, that's Eddie's brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he into that same stuff that Eddie is?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
What do you mean? What are we talking about? Charlie Murphy?
Yeah, Charlie Murphy is Eddie's brother. He's on the show.
Oh, yeah?
He's on Dave's show.
Eddie's brother's on your show?
Yeah.
He's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
Is he into the feet and the women packing the thing down there?
No, man, come on.
Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
Why don't you have him on the show, line up girls, and see if you can pick out which one has meat?
He's more afraid of Eddie Murphy than he is of O.J., okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, why are you saying stuff about Eddie?
Now, somebody told me...
Man. Charlie is a gangster. He'll whoop on you. Do that karate and all that.
Now, Dave, someone told me that now you've had a conversion to Muslim.
Really?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, this is it, right? This is a whole new religion.
You got a new name and everything?
What's your new name?
It's not a... Look, man, I'm not talking about this, man.
Yes, you are.
I'm talking about my religion.
What is your new name?
I'm not
What is your new name?
My name is Dave Chappelle.
No, it's not.
It's Dave Chappelle.
You know you have a Muslim name.
No, my name is Dave Chappelle.
Like your name, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar used to be Lou Alcindor.
Hey, it's for Kareem, that's his, and then mine is my mom's name is Dave Chappelle.
When did this happen, this conversion?
We've talked about it.
No, we haven't.
No, you must tell me, because I don't know.
When I first started doing the show,
You're a Muslim?
What religion am I? And I said, Islam.
Islam.
You're a Muslim?
Yeah, more or less, yes.
More or less?
Absolutely.
You never went to prison. How'd that happen?
Thank God. I mean, come on, man, you know.
How did this happen?
It's a lot of people like me in showbiz. Some people's Christians. Some people Jewish. I happen to pick Islam.
But when did this happen? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, something must have happened.
Nothing happened.
I mean, where did they find you to tell you stuff that got...
Well, where do you think you think they recruit you like the Matrix? Somebody come and give you a phone and start ringing? They're looking for you, David.
That's Scientology.
No, but I mean, for a lot of black celebrities, it's their Kabbalah. It's like Madonna has the Kabbalah and Britney Spears and...
Yeah.
This is
what is Kabbalah, by the way?
It's a Jew, but it's a Jew who wants to be a fancy Jew, like a witchcraft Jew with superpowers.
It's like, is it like a magical Judaism?
Magical Jews. Because here's the problem with Jews.
Because they always call it mysticism.
Well, Jews go to temple on a regular basis, and they're bored because they want to be special. They're sitting there. They're not the rabbi. They're not the guy who sings the cantor. They're sitting there, and they go, well, what can we do? I could become Jews for Jesus, then everyone will be focused on me. Or I could go into the Kabbalah, because it's not enough to be Jewish and just be sitting there. They want to be special. They want to have special witchcraft, special powers.
Special knowledge.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Well,
everybody wants to be special.
Everybody's innocent.
You're a religious man, and when did this overtake you?
Man, I mean, from a young age I've been like that.
Really?
Yeah, man, from like early on in like high school.
What about the name Kareem of Wheat?
Oh.
What do you think? I want to thank Reverend Bob Levy for that.
Reverend Bob Levy.
Wow, I didn't know that. So who else is in your study group?
I'm telling you, we've talked about this.
Really? I don't even remember.
Let's talk about it again. I don't remember.
It's a lot more interesting
now because, you know.
Oh, what, you ashamed of it?
No, I'm not ashamed of it, man, but, you know, you got to talk about religion.
We want to talk to you about religion.
Yeah, whatever happened, show me your butt, let me see that, turn around.
Is that why his head is shaved, or is that a part of your religion?
Yes.
No, that's called a low-maintenance hairstyle. But
and where's your bow tie?
That's just being economical. That's not, the bow tie is not a requirement in any religion.
Letitia, you're on the air.
Hey, baby, I just want to know if Dave is keeping it real and going out with a black girl. And if not, I'd like to do it.
Do you like to what?
I'd like to do it with you, baby.
Oh. I know I'm married.
Oh, well, maybe me, you, and your wife could get down together, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Letitia. Terrible.
All right, let's go to...
Does your wife wear, like, she doesn't have to be in a shawl or anything, does she? Does she
no,
and all that stuff?
She doesn't care about
Just says she knows her place, Robin.
Rebecca, you're on the air. Go ahead. You're on with Dave Chappelle's comedy special, For What It's Worth, September 4th at 9 p.m. on Showtime. Check it out. Dave will be performing at the VMAs this Sunday night at 8 o'clock on MTV. He's going down to Miami. Miami's supposed to be a great scene, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but he's a Muslim. Forget about it.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be there.
It's not like I'm going to be running the streets. Wait, so Muslims can enjoy the beach?
Well, wait a minute. Do you drink?
No, I do not drink.
Do you smoke weed?
Do you eat pork?
Listen, man, I'm not going to be talking about my bad habits. No, I do not eat pork.
I don't think that's in there. You know, weed in the Muslim religion?
Well, hey, man, come on now. There's people of all kinds of religions that have fractured rules here and there. It's right.
It's great Elijah Muhammad had to relax, too.
Rebecca, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, Dave?
Yeah.
Hi, I don't know if you remember me. I used to live in your building. I used to work at the Health Club on 14th Street in Union Square.
I don't remember.
I used to be the secretary there. Oh, my God, you and David Edwards, we all used to talk.
Yeah, did he ever do you?
I don't think I did no help.
Where are we going with this?
No, I just wanted to say congratulations to him. I mean, I used to go to the Boston Comedy Club and
Well, let me ask you this. Was I nice back then?
Yes, you were.
Because he's horrible to people now.
Yeah, man.
At least you got him when he was nice.
That'll change.
All right, let's go to James. James, a legitimate question. Go ahead.
Yeah. How does, Dave, I got a question. How do you get away with all this stuff on your show that Howard Stern can't even think about doing on radio?
He's on cable.
Yeah. I'm on basic cable, so you can get away with more. You know.
Well, who doesn't have cable?
I know it's hypocritical, but yeah.
I mean, I'm not knocking. I mean, I can't hate on Comedy Central for letting me do this stuff.
No, it's great. As a matter of fact, they're allowed to do it because it's cable. That's the hypocrisy of the FCC. I mean, what kid? My kid's 11 years old, sits in a room and watches Dave Chappelle.
If you pay for something illegal, then it's legal, I guess.
If you pay for something into your home, the FCC can't regulate it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's what the rap on cable is. You're bringing it into the home. It's not the public airwaves. But it's ridiculous.
I mean, say either one is bad, but just a shame that they can do it on if you pay, but not if you don't.
Right. That's the hypocrisy.
There's a lot of hypocrisy. You know, that's a weird.
You know about that, right?
That's a weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
All right, thanks.
But yeah, you like Jay-Z said, you beat them Chargers like Rocky. You hung in there like.
I know.
That was beautiful, man.
It's the truth. I mean, I'm the only guy left standing.
Dude, I'm telling you though, yeah. And you went gangster with it.
I want him to fire me. They'll make me bigger. I do. I want him to fire me.
You're pretty unstoppable. And the other thing is, it's not like you all of a sudden got this edge and went crazy. It's like. Yeah. You've always been doing the show. It's just weird.
It's because I'm not for Bush. I'm telling you, Clear Channel fired my ass because I wouldn't come out for Bush.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I can tell you the whole story, but it would take an hour.
Yeah, that's why I stay away from this stuff. I'm not.
Who you voting for? You're not voting for Bush.
Well, no, you know what? I got to tell you, though, I've never voted in my life, and I think that I will vote this time.
And you're going to vote for Kerry, right?
You think?
You better do it. It's important.
Yeah, and I live in Ohio, which is a battleground state.
Right.
We get all the good men. And let me tell you, it is a battleground state. If you drive around where I live, I did people put signs in their yards.
Right.
They have their support. They literally say support President Bush and our troops, and then other signs right across the street. Peace is patriotic. I mean, it's like.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. Why do people think you're not a patriot if you don't support Bush? I consider myself patriotic. I'm one of the most patriotic Americans. I love this country.
Yeah.
I love it so much, I don't want to see it go downhill more.
That's exactly it. I love it enough to think this is important.
I agree, man.
Did you register or anything?
I registered to vote. As a matter of fact, I registered last week. It's my first time going through this process.
Why did you never vote? I don't understand.
Because, man, it's like, again, let me go back to the game show analogy. If a black family's not on, and you know the winner's going to be white, and it's like,
Who cares?
Yeah, man, what difference is it? I mean,
that's why I never voted.
Because
but for example,
when Clinton ran, I was a New York resident. It's an electorate vote, and there was no question he was going to carry the electorate in New York.
Yeah, but you take that attitude, and the guy loses.
Well, listen, when Gore was around, the same thing. No question, Gore's going to win the electorate in New York. So,
Yeah, but you don't know that. You have to go out and still cast the vote.
I mean, I was right. Two for two, I was right.
Yeah.
And then, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have voted. I don't know. I just never participated. And it was just like, it's on a Tuesday.
So do you get to hang out with Eddie Murphy because you're hanging out with his brother?
I've been to his house and stuff, yeah.
At some house, huh?
Yeah, he's done quite well for himself.
Bubble Hill.
I'm proud of Eddie Murphy.
Bubble Hill, yeah.
Eddie Murphy's one of the best stand-ups, but then he stopped doing it.
Yeah, man, see, that's the thing. Most of the people who are really good at stand-up stop doing it. And that's like, well, is there something that happens that, I don't know. I'll find out.
You're going to stop?
I'm not good at it. I can't wait to stop doing it.
I'm doing it, with a whole new attitude. The first thing is it's, change now because I'm famous, it's almost different doing it. I'll come on stage for the first 5 minutes, people just take your picture and they just can't believe you're there. And then it just takes a while to actually be doing stand-up. Right. Whereas coming up through the years, you're usually just like this anonymous guy that's got to win the crowd over.
You've already won them over.
Yeah, now it's like they've bought into it wholesale. So it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of not. It's not
different.
It's much different.
It's interesting because I remember in that Jerry Seinfeld film, he walks on stage and gets a standing ovation. He hasn't said a word.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's like, well, you know, he was Seinfeld. So it's almost like he just flew across the Atlantic like some Lindbergh. Like,
I mean, I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I would think that would be preferable to go out there and have the crowd love you already.
Than having to warm up a cold room.
Absolutely.
Well, it would seem that way, but when you got the goods in your pocket, it's something fun knowing these guys have no idea what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do.
Right.
I can have my way, and now it's like...
They have an expectation.
I better
You
be
look
good.
down and they're all like, come on, baby, do that. Do Rick James. Do Tyrone Biggums. Do the thing from TV.
Yeah, do that.
And it's like, maybe I don't want to do that.
See, I love disappointing an audience.
That's hilarious.
Well, hey, Dave.
That's hilarious.
It's great seeing you.
You're so bad.
We always love when you come in.
Oh, man, thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure being here. And hey, man, what can I say?
I don't know when we'll see you again.
I'm coming through, man. You know, I would have came through during the season. The production schedule is so crazy, it's hard to get.
That's what I heard.
But, I mean, man, Howard, I couldn't thank you enough, man.
Dave Chappelle's comedy special, For What It's
You've
Worth.
always been fun on the show. That's why you get to do it.
Well, man, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Talented guy, man.
You know, thanks, man.
Dave's For What It's Worth, September 4th at 9 p.m. on Showtime. Check that out. And also, what are you doing? You get on a plane now and you're going down to Florida?
Yeah. Hey, you know, I will email you a list of people I wish cancer on as I start building up hatred.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm sure as I get bigger...
There are people you hate. You're too nice.
No, I'm saying I'm sure I'll change now that all these things have happened. And
oh, you've changed already, believe me.
Am I different?
Of course.
What's the difference? Tell me, man.
Oh, look at you. The way you carry yourself. The way you...
Is it more confident?
Yeah.
A little swagger.
Yeah,
I got a little swagger.
Yeah.
You're already complaining. Oh,
you know what, Dave?
The VMAs. Oh.
Well, I'm not complaining, man. Look, I'm tell you right now, I'm not that kind of an ingrate.
You're going to do movies? What's going to go on?
He's trying to do Rick James.
Well, I was trying to. The thing is, man, it's like...
Rick James the movie.
All the stuff I get offered.
Look.
It's like if you're a black dude and you make something good of yourself, the reward, this is what me and my partner always laugh about, the reward is a cop movie.
Right. That's the highest thing you can get.
Then somehow I'm supposed to play a cop. Either I'm going to have to be with Jackie Chan or Nick Nolte or something.
And there's something ironic about that if you're a black man.
Is that who wants to play a cop?
Exactly.
You don't like
cops. Who wants to do that?
Yeah, it's like, oh, and this so you know, I'm trying to do something that's I'm trying to do something that's different.
Right.
We white people have a word for what you become, David. Uppity. You're a little uppity.
No, actually, you have changed. I mean, look at the entourage you now have. I think you came in with this one.
All right. No,
who's out there?
You have
changed.
You have changed.
It's one guy that do security.
All right, security.
You need that.
But come on, let's be fair. If you in the front of every paper, this black dude makes $50 million. It's a little hotter.
I'd hire somebody.
Are a lot of relatives looking for money now?
Oh man, I can get in the calls, but my family's not been that bad. Not that bad.
Cousins and old friends and people from the
old friends is that's a little dicey.
And people you didn't know you were related to.
Like, what do you mean? They call you up, like old friends call you up and go, hey, man, you got all that money now.
Can you loan me?
The thing is, it's even shadier. I feel better almost if they mention that I made money, but they hit me with that, what you up to? It's like, oh, come on, man. You know what I'm
you
up
read
to,
the papers.
man. Yeah. Why you calling me now talking about what's up? Well, how you been?
I have friends who actually, every time they get together, they always get a hold of me and they go, oh, man, you got all that money. And I go, what?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you still have friends from before you were like the Howard Stern?
It's difficult to. Because I didn't have a lot of friends before I was Howard Stern. To be honest with you, no one was really banging down my door to hang out with me all that much.
Yeah.
And those that did, some of them, I still have a friend, Dr. Lou, who's okay. This guy's Dr. Lou Weinstein. He's my friend since second grade. But for the most part.
From second grade, that's big time.
Yeah, I tried to go back to high school friends, and I found that most of them were somewhat envious. And they were constantly throwing stuff in my face.
Yeah,
we couldn't just hang out.
Yeah, it's too hot to hold them. You gotta let some of these people go because they bubble up. I can feel the. Well,
it's uncomfortable.
$50 million man. What's up?
What's up?
I can't live like that.
I got friends who were jealous when I got a job as a longshoreman when I got in the union.
I seen Bill Clinton on 60 Minutes, and he was like, I still have all my friends from elementary school. He came out, he still kept all his friends.
Yeah, he says that.
That, to me, is insane and incredible.
Well, he must have gone to a really good school. That's what I figured.
He's in Arkansas. I mean, how good could the schools be? You know,
that's right.
I know no child's supposed to be left behind, but they've been left behind a few in Arkansas.
Exactly.
You think?
Yeah, so I'm saying, I mean, you know, for him to maintain these friendships all his life after being president.
Right.
That's pretty good.
President might be a different gig at the same time.
President's different because you got to win people. You got to get their vote. Yeah. You got to be a man of the people.
You know, you can't, in politics, you can't leave your friends. That's
right.
true.
You got to keep collecting them.
Yeah, that's
a whole different thing.
Because you don't want them turning on you.
That's right. So take out ads or some PT boat.
That's right.
That's a whole, like McGreevy.
Right.
Man, talk about
how do you think no one knew? Now I see him, I go, how did I miss that? His haircut's even gay.
Listen, man, I'm going to tell you right now. If McGreevy was gay, really, it's like, who cares?
Right.
Except, of course, his wife is gay. that might have stung a little bit. But his wife is the ride-or-die bitch of the century. Like, she's
hot.
I mean, the fact that she was at the press conference standing by a man like, I'm gay, it's like...
You don't think he drugged her? You don't think he put her on some sort of roofies or something to get her to stand up there?
Medication?
I don't know. You know what? I'm telling you, man, power is bigger than fame. That's it.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Power is the ultimate, like...
Well, even Bill Clinton's wife forgave him. I mean, because he had the power.
Again and again.
Yeah, you could just, you know, hey, man. You can say anything. He's powerful. That's it.
Well, you certainly have it all figured out.
Yeah, you're going to walk out on the president?
Yeah. I mean, he's the governor. It's real. You know.
What's going on, Mary?
Hi, I've been a big fan of the show. Hi, Howard, Robin, Artie, Fred. Hi, Dave.
Hey.
I was a fan of Dave for years. I don't really watch his current show. And every time he's on, I try to call in. I was able to get through, I think, because a lot of people...
Honey, and what's your point?
Nothing. I just wanted to call in and say hello.
Oh, okay.
See if he's dating and...
He is dating, yes.
He's married.
He's dating. You're not married in New York, are you? I mean, I'm saying when you're in New York, Dave, you're only married in Ohio.
No, I'm married. Man.
Oh, okay.
Constantly. You know, everyone...
Constantly.
But, I don't wear no wedding ring.
Is that right?
And Muslims are allowed to have more than one wife anyway, so...
Well, now I'm becoming a Muslim.
This one.
I didn't hear that one.
My wife, you know.
He's got to go.
Oh, you got to go.
See, you have changed.
Oh, man. Is the helicopter ready?
They caught the car.
All right. Yeah.
So who else is in the entourage? You got the bodyguard. You got who else?
I got 2 publicists.
Nice.
One. Well, no, one.
Personal publicist and Comedy Central publicist.
And Showtime. Because I'm here because I want everyone to watch my special September 4th at 9 p.m.
Okay.
That's right.
Who are the 2 guys that are with you?
Oh, one's my security and one works for me like business manager.
Wow.
That's a lot of people. That's 4 people.
Whoa.
But yeah, no much respect.
2 of which I've met this morning.
That's the real thing.
That's the real thing.
Impressive.
Are they all white?
No.
3-1.
2 out of 4.
Right. There's a black guy out there. There's 2 white women.
Well, that's the security guy, the black guy, I guess.
Right.
The other guy, the other guy's not black.
He's Palestinian.
Okay. Yeah.
Palestinian? A Palestinian business manager?
Exactly.
Well, you know, at least
you really know how to handle your money.
At least it's mixed. When Martin Lawrence was here, it looked like the DMV when Martin Lawrence.
You're going to be rich.
The Palestinian business manager.
Well, that's cool. Don't be all racist.
I'm teasing.
Come on.
What are you talking about?
Let me tell you how to handle your money.
That is an Indian accent, sir.
That's the only one I can do.
Dave Chappelle, thank you. And also see Dave on the VMAs on Sunday night at 8 o'clock, okay? And don't forget, 9 p.m. on Showtime, for what it's worth. We'll be back right after these words with the news from Robin. Tonight on E! Duck quacking porn star Aurora Snow. And see that hand go down her throat. Thank you. Very beautiful.
Hey, speaking of feuds, I think I'm in the middle of one. You're going to have to help me, maybe.
Really? Who are you in a feud with?
Levy is furious with me. He's canceling gigs with me.
That's furious.
Yeah, he canceled gigs, and big money gigs, too.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that on the wrap-up show. Gary, where is that clip that Artie's referring to?
He called Teddy. He didn't even call me. Right now, he was booked for Pittsburgh and then Detroit and Atlantic City. In Atlantic City and Detroit, he can't. For some reason, he's keeping Pittsburgh.
Must be good money.
That'll be awkward. But both, though, Detroit and Atlantic City, Detroit especially, be big money.
I understand Bob's point. You do take special glee in ripping Bob Levy and hitting him where it hurts.
We have an odd relationship, me and Bob.
There's something going on there.
No, but from being on the road a lot, you start to get that brother mentality where you get vicious with people. And there's this argument, this issue has been going on forever. And I'm being honest with him. I say, look, I don't think you have a good argument in this. The Dave Chappelle joke that he claimed Dave Chappelle on his show ripped off a joke that Bob wrote. And the joke is, I'm so horny when I get home, I'm going to beat my dick like it owes me money. Okay? And so that showed up in a Chappelle show, an episode of the Chappelle show. Levy and me, a few days after it aired, had a gig together, and he goes, yeah, I'm furious with Chappelle. And I'm like, why? I don't know if he's ever met him. I don't know. Why are you furious with him? He goes, well, he's going to hear from me. He stole one of my jokes on his show. And I go, what joke? And he goes, the joke.
Beat your dick,
yeah. And I said, Bob, listen, man, I don't know if you should fight this battle. And he's like, why? What are you talking about? I don't, are you sure you wrote that joke? I said, that sounds like one of those public domain type, you know what I mean?
Sounds old.
And then he got, it sounds like, it was at the first ever Friars Club dinner they were using that. And he's like, no. And I saw he was very defensive about the fact that he wrote that joke. And then I said, well, listen, Bob, I hate to buzz your bubble, but I've heard other people say that before me and you started working together, because me and Levy started working together about when I started here.
Right.
And he goes, well, they stole it from me. And I go, all right. So I could see he was passionate about it.
Yeah,
and I kind of laid off. And then I heard Chappelle, and then Chappelle was going to be a guest on the show. And Levy said he's going to call in. I said, Bob, please don't do that. You're not going to look great doing that. It can't. Right. Because he goes, no. So I went back and I saw the episode of the Chappelle show where Chappelle uses it. And it's said by this, puppet who's supposed to be playing like a bad, hacky comedian.
So it's not even like Chappelle's trying to use it in his act.
Chappelle didn't come out and in his stand-up monologue go, damn, I'm so horny, I'm going to beat my dick like a...
Right.
You mean it was used as an example of a bad comedian?
In the writer's room, they're going, this character, this puppet has to say some of those bad old jokes that hacks use. And I've seen it before. Throw out some of those jokes.
Well, you pointed this out on the wrap-up show.
So, but listen, so it gets even further than that. So I begged Bob. I said, listen, this is not a battle you're going to win. You know what I mean? Just Chappelle's a big star now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So sure enough, he calls in. And I don't know if you guys remember this. Howard, loving a good fight like he should, puts Levy on and gives Levy full, fair ground there, And Bob explains his situation. And Chappelle goes, oh, so you must be a hack. And which is like, and I'm sitting there and I said to Bob, I can't defend you because I happen to agree with him. And so I stayed quiet, and I think he was a little mad I didn't defend him more. But I said, Chappelle's arguing my argument. I'm trying to be honest.
You told him not to do it.
I said, don't do it. And he sort of came off looking badly. All right? So then we don't talk about it anymore. And then we start roasting in here. And the first roast I was on, the Ronnie roast, Bob's the host, and I re-brought it up, with a couple of jokes. And the jokes got good laughs. They were, they were funny. But he wasn't in the roast spirit. He was mad at me for doing that.
Right.
He thinks, I've said countless times, Bob is an amazing comic. He kills. He's funnier than me. He's one of the best comedians I've ever seen on stage. But with that, it's just an issue I have with him. And even in the roast, he didn't get into it. He's like, in the roast, you hit
But maybe, let me take Bob's side for a second.
He thinks it's going to cost him work. He thinks people are going to... And meanwhile, it doesn't.
Well, I don't even know about this. I mean, is he thinking that everybody's hanging on this and saying, yeah, he's just a hack and he...
I think Bob is probably thinking, why does Artie always have to bring this thing up? Why can't he just let it die?
I know. So something on the wrap-up show came up yesterday where there was a similar situation, and I forget what it was, and I used this as an example.
Oh, so you brought it up again.
Yeah, he did. He brought it up on the wrap-up show again.
I brought it up again, and it's one of those things where I think...
Where is Bob? Maybe we should get him on the phone.
Yeah, no, I think we should, because I feel horrible.
Yeah, for him to start turning down money,
But
he
why do
must
you
be
feel
angry.
it's necessary to keep bringing this up? Because you know you love to torture Bob. You know there's something in you that's angry with Bob.
No, you know what? No, I'm not angry with Bob
Really?
at all.
There's
no.
something you know how
I
to
see
tweak
Bob
this
as a guy. I see Bob as a guy.
Hold
if
it,
I
you
didn't have
know-
the luck I've had in my career, I could be a guy going from
Like
gig.
Bob?
No, but I'm saying Bob works hard and he goes from gig to gig to make ends meet. And I've been blessed with some good jobs, and you know I don't have the money issues he has, and I feel I give him gigs whenever I can.
Right.
I do, and I
You
love
feel
working
for him.
with. We're the same. We're like brothers in arms in a way. We drink. We like to
So
party.
why do you always pick this topic up that stabs him in the heart, and you keep going
You know
back
when you
to
have
it?
like a little brother or something, and there's something you know, if you tease him, it's just going to aggravate the fuck out of him.
You do enjoy aggravating.
I do. I enjoy busting his balls, and so much to the point where the day of my roast, I had to call him and console him afterwards because he was upset with shit. And then another issue I think
Let's
he
get
has.
Bob on the phone. Gary, are you working on this, or am I?
Well, what is Bob?
Another issue I think he has is the last roast. You know, he claimed that I said something that pissed him off on the air, and he was going to really get me at the roast. And then he claimed that his jokes didn't work because there were people in the audience that liked me too much.
I remember that.
So, you know, I mean, he said these guys love Artie to the point where if they see him in person, they're afraid to laugh at him.
So
They
the
weren't
roast.
real fans.
So the
Just voicemails we're getting for Bob.
So the roasts. Yeah, you know he's going to call back later when we have no time. So the roasts are really causing problems for Bob.
But Bob won
and he's the
roast.
roast master.
Yeah.
He can't take.
He's also a great roaster, and he's the one who he pitched the roasts. Look, when you go into this roast thing, man, feelings you're gonna really guys get low, man. And this room is the worst roasting. Best roasting, but worst roasting.
Right.
As far as hitting low I've ever seen in my life. Right. This is crazy shit that gets said in here.
Right.
I mean, crazy stuff.
I agree.
And everybody's skin gets thicker because of it. And it seems to be the one unraveling the most from it is Levy.
That's how you don't understand. He's Mr. I want a roast.
Yeah, and so his argument last time.
You know, wait a second, though. You got to take a little responsibility in this.
Yeah.
You know how to get to Bob.
Yesterday was out of line.
All right, so.
And I even thought it was out of line after I said it.
Okay.
I said
Did
that
he
wasn't
call
necessary.
while you
Sometimes when you're
were
doing
on the air yesterday?
He listens all the time, and by the time I got home, I had some shit to do. I got home about 2 o'clock, and Teddy calls me up and goes, listen, Bob is furious. And something you said on the wrap-up show, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. I almost expected this, but Levy didn't even call me, which means he's really mad.
Wow.
And then he says to me, the oddest thing was, Pittsburgh's June 29th. And he goes, he's coming to Pittsburgh, but he's canceling Atlantic City and Detroit. And I go, well, we got to sit through that awkwardness in Pittsburgh?
Well, he probably feels maybe there's not enough time to cancel.
Yeah,
and I hate to say it, but there's more than enough time to
He
get
can
another
cancel.
back.
So will you tell him that when we speak to him?
Of course I will. Listen, here's the thing. When he comes to Pittsburgh, we're going to make up and everything will be fine. And Detroit in particular, that's the Fox Theater. That's 6,000 seats. If we could sell that out, it's a lot of money for Bob. And I refuse to let him not do those gigs.
He might not want to. And you're very uncomfortable with people being angry at you.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And, what is it, Sal?
He called me yesterday. He is fucking steaming like you wouldn't believe. And I got to admit, I agree with you, Howard. Like, we know you love Levy, but you always give him these cheap digs where he can't defend himself.
Most of the time, it's on a roast day or
That's
in a
right.
roast. Okay, and he's the one who wants these roasts. And they're great. The roasts are fantastic. But on the other side of it, this wrap-up show thing was out of line. I agree with you. It was. But I think when he rethinks it, we'll be fine. I don't want to see him turn down all his money. It's a lot of money.
He called me yesterday. He goes, what are you doing on the 13th? I go, I think I might be doing the Borgata in AC with Artie and you. He goes, I'm not on it, and you're not on it either.
Oh, he wants you to quit.
Well, I work with Levy. Levy
Wait, so
looks out
Levy's
for me.
telling you not to do gigs?
No, he
That's
didn't tell.
bullshit.
He didn't tell me that.
That's
He
what it
said,
sounds like you just
I
said.
said I wanted to be on it, and he was like, I'm not on it, and
And what?
And what?
He didn't necessarily like, and you're not on it either, but
he wants you to quit the gig?
No, not at all.
You
not
just
at
said
all.
that.
Whose side are you on?
I'm on nobody's side.
Are you on Artie's side or Bob's side? Are you going to leave the gig or are you going to stay on the gig?
I'm not on Artie's gig. I was thinking about it.
Oh.
But Levy was on
I thought you were.
No, Levy was on it. And I wasn't on it. So I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I canceled it. And he goes, do you want to do a gig in Jersey with me? And I said, yeah, I'll do a gig in Jersey with you. I go, but what the fuck's going on? And he says...
That same night.
Yesterday. This happened yesterday after you said all
but
this
I'm
shit.
saying you're doing a gig with Levy July 13th now, so you can't do the Borgata.
Right, but I never agreed to do the Borgata with you yet. But,
okay.
So Levy called me, goes saying that he wasn't on the Borgata with you. I was thinking about doing it. He said he had another gig, so I said, yeah, I'll do it.
How did he get another gig so fast?
Oh, he gets gigs all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's a lot of firehouses around right now.
This isn't helping you already.
See, that's the thing. I mean, but the thing is, what Bob doesn't understand...
All right, well, let's see if it can get resolved at some point.
I think every town has a firehouse.
That's right.
The issue Bob has...
Volunteer
So
firehouse.
he can work anytime.
They got a oyster clam bake night.
Oh, man.
He's going to be pissed.
He's going to be mad.
His issue is you don't rip Fitzsimmons, you don't rip DePaulo when they're on the show, and Bob Levy is, to me, is just as funny. Is just as funny, if not funnier, than these guys, and you give him absolutely no
that's your
comedic
opinion.
respect.
That's your opinion.
No, but he's... how would you rate Bob on stage? I mean, honestly.
I think he's a great comedian. I don't think he's as good as Fitzsimmons or Nick DiPaolo.
All right, but the thing is that you're friends with all of them equally, yet you always give Levy
by the way, I don't think I'm as good as Fitzsimmons or Nick DiPaolo. You're talking about A-list comics there. I really don't. I don't put myself in their category.
The thing is that if he's in your,
does Fitzsimmons have a beating the dick joke where?
I don't believe he has one.
No.
Or okay.
See the guy I heard say the guy I heard said beat my dick like it owes me money. It was like a drunken cop, I think.
Well, Levy used to be a police officer.
That is his. You know what? That is his Niagara Falls. That is his Achilles heel.
Okay.
That is his. When you bring up the beating the dick joke that he wrote, and that Dave Chappelle.
But do you see how I was trying to help him? If you somehow Master Tape Theater, you can find when Chappelle, it's probably the last Chappelle appearance ever, and Dave just said, "Well, you're a hack then," and I knew he was going to say that. That's what I would have said. Right. And if you look at the context and how it was used on the Chappelle show, it's not flattering. It's not. It's a guy who's
right.
Also another thing.
Listen, Artie,
but there's another thing Levy had, which is similar. Richard Belzer in a roast. Did a joke about someone who said the only way
you would be funny.
The only way you'd be funny, the only way you'd have a funny bone in your body is if I fucked you
in the ass.
Right. Levy saw that on a roast, a big roast, and says, "Now Belzer's ripping me off." And I said, "Bob, really? You're going to claim you wrote that one too?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm telling you, I wrote it." And then you go in your head, well, someone had to write these jokes, I guess. But if you went to Belzer, and the only time sort of that shit is allowed and fun, and even Gilbert will tell you, is at a roast. You know, that's when you could use those jokes. It's fun, you know, these old jokes that Dick Capri uses, you know. And he said, so now I'm going to, next time Belzer's on the show, I'm going to call her. I'm like, Bob, please don't do that.
Right, like, don't embarrass
I can't just say how, I'm trying to help him, and he thinks I'm insulting him. So the Chappelle thing, he even got off kind of easy, but if this ever gets into a real debate, and I said, Chappelle's a big star. You know, it's like, so whatever.
Well,
so
I'm going to let you guys work it out. I'm sure we'll hear from Bob.
You just don't believe that people could be ripping off Bob Levy.
No, I think they can. Listen, on stage, the way he works with the crowd and all that, like, I've never seen somebody better at that.
Well, it's a morning of fights, and I love it. All right, Artie, you'll continue to fight with Bob Levy. Gorillo and Tracy might continue to go at it. Who knows? And Fred is even going at it with me.
Yeah, there's got to be a rebuttal.
I thought we were having fun.
We were.
Can I say one thing, though, Howard? That beat my dick like it owes me money. Yeah, it might be old. But you have to admit, it's a very...
But Bob's old.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that's my point. It's a very... Bob's been doing this for 20 years. So how old are you now, Artie? 39, right?
Yeah.
So you...
I've been doing it for 20 years.
He wrote that joke when you were 4.
I started at 19.
Yeah, right. So if you were telling it in the 6th grade, maybe your parents heard Bob Levy doing it at a firehouse.
Sal, you're much more interesting when you're talking about your marriage.
I'm going to see if my parents ever saw Bob Levy.
I think Bob Levy wrote it.
Well, good. John Boy, you're on the air.
Well, you keep thinking that.
Go ahead, John Boy, and then I got to take a break quickly.
I'm a little worried about Sal, actually. I think maybe he should put in some sessions with his comedy coach, because ever since he's been going to that marriage counselor, he's a big pussy.
I did that Jack and Rod this morning was my favorite Jack and Rod.
I like Jack and Rod.
He hasn't done nothing cool like spit on Richard's cock or...
Now you want that?
He's not gay anymore.
You know, I miss the old days when Richard and Sal would do homosexual acts.
He dropped the whole gay thing.
Let's take a break. We'll be back right after these words.
I have a vision of Eric in the middle of his room shitting into a tub with the dog next to him.
You think the dog's still there?
Yeah, and a bucket of chicken. Shut up.
Guess who's on the phone? And I want to give him a chance to talk. Bob Levy is so pissed at Artie.
Is he on the phone?
Yes. It's about time you woke up, you lazy bastard.
I was hanging out with my son last night, swimming.
We're trying to get you...
the kid should go to bed earlier.
You know what? Make a long story short, Artie really knows how to press your buttons, and he always does. And this time he went too far, and I understand you're not going to work with him anymore.
Yeah, the whole thing that pisses me off is like, I don't give a fuck. You can fuck with me about anything, but not about the comedy, because I work fucking hard at this. That joke was something that I fucking wrote a while ago. You can ask Florentine, you can ask Norton, who worked with me back then. And for him to comment on something he knows nothing a fuck about, and then fucking say that Chappelle was writing a bit about a hack comedian, which is totally bullshit. That's not what it was. You know, you don't have to open your mouth just because you got to fucking talk all the fucking time.
Bob, have you ever seen the bit that Chappelle did?
Yes, I did. And
what about when you called in and challenged Chappelle on it? What did he say?
He said that his people were in the audience the fucking 3 weeks before that happened.
No, he didn't.
It's the fucking truth. Paul was sitting with them, Artie.
Yeah, but...
You weren't at the fucking gig.
So you claim you wrote... Just let me get the joke straight again. It's the joke where I'm going to beat my dick like it owes me money.
Yes.
When did you write that joke?
That joke probably in the late 80s. Probably in the late 80s.
Okay.
And I just left it in. I used it as an opening line, just a quick opening line to get the audience right off the bat.
Now, what about the joke that you say Belzer stole, where the only way you'd be funny, the only funny bone you'd ever have in your body is if I fucked you in the ass?
That joke was actually given by another comedian to him at a roast that I did already on a roast.
But did you write that joke as well?
I wrote that joke for a Robin roast a long time ago, but at the same time...
You wrote that joke for a Robin roast?
That was a while ago.
So what year did you write that joke?
Whenever the hell that Robin, when the meanest listener was.
So you wrote that joke in 2002-ish or 1-ish?
One. I don't know. That's whenever the roast was.
Here, I think, Artie, let me clarify. I think this is what Bob's point is. You know his sore spot.
No.
And on the wrap-up show, you keep bringing up his sore spot.
I think before...
And you keep calling him a hack comic in a way.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what you said. You said he was making fun of the hack me. So you're calling me...
He was. Chappelle, in that bit, Chappelle was... The character was saying something that a sort of hacky comedian would say.
He was a junkie singing a song about drugs or something like that. It had nothing to do with a hack comedian.
Right. Well, I mean, in other words, it was a guy who wasn't a comic.
You know Bob's weak point. This is his Achilles heel.
But I think before we can get on to what you're talking about, Howard, we have to settle this argument somehow, because he knows I'm always going to think this way. And well, Greg Fitzsimmons, who's another comedian, is sitting here. Greg, do you think Bob wrote either one of those jokes?
There is examples of what they call parallel writing, where two people can have the same concept, but I will say that I remember Joe Rogan, because we started out in Boston together in the, early 90s, saying, I fucked her, she fucked me like she owed me money, but I don't remember the dick thing. But as far as the only funny bone in your body being if I fucked you in the ass, that feels like a joke I've just heard on a lot of roasts. It's been on the internet
as early as 1998,
I know of. Yeah, I mean, I don't know but I'm not saying that Bob
claims he wrote it after 2000.
But I could see somebody sitting in a room and thinking of that joke. It's a pretty pedestrian idea, and it's a funny joke. But usually if you think of something that's that, easy, you sometimes will go,
What's going to be now? I have to move this along. Bob, what is going to be? You are no longer talking to Artie?
No, I mean, look, I love the guy, and I thought he fucking liked me, but I mean...
I do like you, Bob. I'm busting your balls.
He puts me on the show. No, but I could take a fucking beating on anything, and I do.
But you
Does
can't.
he pick on you more than the other comedians?
Totally, man. I mean, he doesn't say a fucking peep. If Dean Cook came in there tomorrow, he'd be fucking kissing his ass. You know?
No, I don't claim that...
Fucking bullshit.
Do you think Artie...
You don't fucking badmouth one fucking comedian.
Do you think Artie...
Except Chappelle.
Do you think Artie...
I never badmouth. I said his writers fucking took it. If you listen for the 10th fucking time.
I've heard that you canceled several gigs that you're going to do with Artie.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Bob, first of all, you really think Chappelle's writers stole that joke from
They were in the fucking audience, Artie. Paul was sitting right next to them. They were fucking in the audience.
All right, so, okay, fine. Well, let's just agree to disagree with that. First of all, how are we going to... So, we have 3 gigs coming up. You canceled 2 of them. How are we supposed to get through Pittsburgh with you mad at me?
Well, cancel Pittsburgh. I'll fucking stay home with my son.
Why would you do that?
I don't fucking need to...
Now you're being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous.
I don't treat my friends like that. I fucking treat my friends like friends, all right? I don't fuck them over.
Have I not been a good friend to you over the years?
Yeah, and I've been a good friend to you, and I've never fucked you.
Okay, so listen, I'm sorry. I'm apologizing then. I'll apologize for what I think bringing it up yesterday was out of line. I shouldn't have brought it up there.
You know, this has been done for years. This has been over for fucking years. Chappelle, we talked, it was over, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think you settled anything with Chappelle.
I'm a hack comedian.
Do you think it's because Artie has said it? He said it as early as this morning. Artie said, you know, if it wasn't for a couple of breaks that I got, I could end up being Bob Levy.
Oh. No.
You know what? It ain't too fucking bad being me, okay?
No, Bob. I didn't say it's so bad. I'm saying that, you know, he's a guy who, you know, has to work and get gigs and you know, I could turn down gigs now because I've been lucky. And I'm saying I could easily have had that happen to me. I got a couple of good breaks, that's all.
You mean it could have easily happened to you that you'd be Bob Levy?
No, it could have happened to me where I have bigger money issues in my life. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't have any issues. I'm fucking happy with... That's all that fucking matters.
All right, fine.
I don't give a fuck.
Fine. That wasn't meant to be an insult. But I apologize for what I said yesterday. It was out of line on the wrap-up show. I'm being dead serious.
Artie, you did say there are plenty of firehouses where Bob can perform, but he doesn't work with you.
I was trying to be funny. But clearly, look, the king of the roast here clearly is sensitive. I mean, you know.
Isn't this a little weird, Artie?
It's like I never
Bob so
anybody
upset?
about comedy. I fucking help people all the fucking time. I work with 5 fucking guys every weekend because we're friends and we want to keep something together. And I don't fucking go out there and try to fucking throw them under a fucking bus.
Bob, does it upset you that Artie said as early as this morning that you are nowhere near the level of Greg Fitzsimmons?
I said I think Greg and Nick are funnier than me and Bob. I said they're better comics as far as I'm concerned than myself.
I know I do my job, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, no, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, Greg and Nick are A-list guys. That's me being truthful, and me and you could go together on the B-list tour and make money.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, look, you put people after me, let's see how good they are.
Right. Now, Bob, you kill. Listen, you kill on stage. I've never, and it is very, even though I'm on the show, it's very hard to follow you.
What's going to be, Artie? I see that Bob has had it with you, and I don't see him accepting
think that's true at all,
He's not
Mr.
accepting
Stern.
your apology.
No,
He's canceling gigs, Artie.
Are you canceling Pittsburgh as well, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, I'll cancel it, because the other 2 I'm definitely canceling. With Sal.
Well, Bob, how are we supposed to
Maybe
do?
you look down on him because he does that hacky blue cheese bit you don't like.
Again, I'm sure Bob wrote that. That I know he wrote.
You know he wrote the blue cheese.
Eating blue cheese out of a chick's
Do you think
ass.
Chappelle might steal that?
Maybe if he eats watermelon. No, I'm kidding.
No. You see, here's the other thing about Levy. Here's the other thing about Levy. I did him a favor, and well, you know what? I'm not even going to go there.
What is the favor?
No,
go ahead.
I'm not going to go there.
No.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm not going to go there.
He wants to hear. Do you want to hear this, Bob?
No, I don't.
I don't care, man.
He doesn't want to hear it.
What favor did you do him? You mean you did him a favor booking him, is what you're saying?
No. Bob and me have always done business together. We've made each other money. I think Bob is dumb for canceling these gigs because I love him and I want him on the gigs. And I do a better show when Bob's there. The fans love him, and I think canceling these gigs is not something I want, Bob, and I don't think deep down you want it. I think you're mad right now, and I'm apologizing.
I didn't want to, but I don't like to fucking be treated. Look, you can fucking goof.
So listen, are you making rules for the roast now, by the way? Because I know you were mad at after I made a joke about this on a roast. Now, Mr. Roastmaster here, can I not talk about your comedy? We talk about each other's comedy all the time.
Can I give you a list of stuff I don't want you to talk about me?
I don't give a fuck about that. It's when you something came up. All you had to do is say, "Oh yeah, that happened." You don't have to say, "Oh yeah, don't get me started on that." Like it's the fucking biggest thing in the world. It's not.
You were pissed off, Bob. You called a bunch of people afterwards. You were pretty upset.
No, he's admitting that. He's saying he's upset, and look, it was a dumb thing to say.
Gary, you're a fucking genius too.
I'm just telling you how it went.
What did he say?
I know how it went.
I'm not piling on you. I'm just telling you. Hey, can I ask Gordy a question? Because I'm listening to you.
The bit that Levy has where he can't spell, I mean, like, that's a great bit that he wrote.
But Artie, I want to ask you a question, and be honest about this. It doesn't sound like you're being totally honest. When you say you could have been like Bob, but you caught a couple of breaks, do you really believe that, or do you think that you've done better because, A, you're funnier, and B, you might have a different work ethic?
No. I believe he has a fantastic work ethic. That I know for sure. I'm saying I have gotten very lucky in my career.
But is that luck?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is. Absolutely. Without question, a lot of it's luck. I think Levy is a great stand-up comic.
Are you buying this, Howard?
No.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're being really nice.
I said you may be telling the truth, but nobody believes it.
Right. Well, you didn't get lucky. You're a funny guy. I'm not saying Bob's not funny. Bob's a really funny guy. Bob
I am the captain of the Italy team in the World Cup of Comedy right now in Syria.
It's true.
But
can't argue with that.
No. You know what, Gary? You're looking too far into it. Bob is a very talented. Well, the first time
Bob, do you accept Artie's apology, or are you sticking to your guns and not doing the shows?
No, I booked over the shows.
Oh, come on, Bob.
In the same town, the same night.
Now you're being ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Look, it feels like I can't fucking trust somebody. I don't like to fucking be around somebody like that. You know what I mean? I don't fucking do that to people.
I'm sorry then. Because I've seen Bob kill so hard that people are barreled over laughing and they actually hit their head on the hose of the truck.
What truck is that?
Do it, Artie. In 5 years, you'll be fucking playing them.
No, I won't. I'll be dead in 5 years. Now, come on, you know that.
Bob, what would it take from Artie to get you back on those shows? What would he have to do?
Who's that, Steve the intern?
No, Greg Fitzsimmons.
It's Greg, the guy with the show on Sirius.
Oh, okay.
But I'm my own intern.
I need a fucking break. I want to do my own fucking thing with Sal and the boys.
Sal and the boys.
Sounds like Bob's really upset with you.
Listen,
I hear him crying.
Bob, I think you're being ridiculous now. If you rethink this, you'll want to look. Detroit is going to be a big payday for us. Come on, you don't want to do that. Come on.
I don't know.
I thought your kid was at school.
No, he's home.
Oh.
He's done with school. He came upstairs.
Bob doesn't want his kid to grow up being a better speller than him. He's keeping him home.
True. I'm keeping him home.
This proves a lot about Levy. I fucked with his kid in the roast, and he doesn't give a fuck. It's about his comedy.
No.
And it's only 2 jokes. I brought up 2 fucking jokes you used. The rest of your act is fantastic.
No, but listen to me. That is something, if somebody takes from you, they're taking from you, okay? You got to stand behind if somebody takes from you, and you have to fight it.
Well, I think Bob is making it clear he is not making up.
I would love to pull the fight he had with Chappelle on the air.
Well, he is
first
not.
of all, Levy
forget that he is not making
recoiled
up.
a lot when he got on the air with him.
Artie.
Oh, yeah, because I'm arguing on the phone because I wasn't allowed to come in and go face-to-face with him. You know what I mean?
You weren't allowed to? I didn't know that. I didn't know you weren't allowed to come in.
Yeah, because he's a
But do you remember when Chappelle said, remember when you said I wrote that joke? You remember what Chappelle said? He said, oh, then you must be a hack.
Artie, I don't remember arguing with somebody.
All right, listen, guys, I'm sorry. This is so upsetting to me. You guys were good friends. It is. Ralph, what do you want to add to this?
In all seriousness, Bob, I don't get this. You're a comedian. You bust balls for a living. How can you get so twisted about Artie busting balls?
because
Ralph, it's not about busting balls, Ralph. If you listen to, he's calling me a fucking hack. He's saying that, oh, please, like you wrote that. There's no facts on his merit. If there was, I could take anything, Ralph, and you know that. It has nothing to do with that.
But it's like you're drawing more attention to it. It's not like it's even a great joke. I mean, it's not like the best joke ever written.
But it's his story.
Jokes are working. Please, stop.
I know what's funny, and it's a chuckle. I mean,
that's what you got to mirror. That's what you know what is funny.
All right. Thank you, Ralph.
Do we not have a clip of the Chappelle bit?
We don't have that right now. Howard, go ahead in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Good morning, everybody. It's crazy, all this anger coming from these funny guys.
Right.
Bob, what the fuck? Relax over there. And Howard, you're getting crazy. Artie's busting balls. He's angry, Artie. You know that.
No, I know he's angry, and it makes me upset. We're friends. We work together. I want to keep working with him. I want to keep working with you.
I would never do what you do to me. I would never attack anything that you ever did. Never.
Well, there you go. There's a good friend, Marianne.
I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny that...
Artie, you don't know the meaning of a true friend. You do it to everybody. Everybody.
Who else do I do it?
When you call Dr. Keith Abloh, tell him this is part of your psychological problem. You do one good thing, 10 steps forward, 25 steps back, Artie. It's a problem. Oh, I want to make up. I didn't mean it. That's all you say. It started with Dana. I like you to bring some of your true friends up there, Artie.
All right.
If you give Jeff $100, you do it to him. If you take Bob Levy on a gig, you do it to him. Artie, you do it to everyone, and that's part of your
All right, there we go.
I love you. The shows are great.
Thank you.
If you weren't on live for me, Howard, I don't know what I would do. I love you, Howard.
Thank you, baby. Okay, there's Marianne from Brooklyn. Well, this
Who else do I do
guys, I can't solve this problem right now. I don't know what to make of it.
I can't believe that you in your Solomon-like way can't figure this out.
Bob, did you really book other gigs on those dates? Did you really book other gigs on those dates?
Yeah, I booked over AC and I booked over Detroit.
Why would you do that? Well, I mean, you know, we haven't talked yet. We could talk this out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It drives me fucking crazy. It pisses me off. I can't.
All right, well then...
Howard, do you want to set up a sit-down?
Look, I'll do it right now real quick. Artie, you were a little bit out of line.
Okay, I agree with that. I admitted that.
In other words, Bob wasn't around, you got on the wrap-up show, and you made him look like he was a bit of a, jerk.
No, when Bob said that he thought that joke was stolen from him, is it better to laugh behind his back or say, look, Bob, I got to be honest with you?
He feels you bring it up too much, like you bring it up over and over. It's his weak spot. You're killing him.
I have tons of people that can verify that is mine, and that.
All right, but Bob, you're not totally innocent either. Like, you brought in that chick the other day who's into fat guys.
That wasn't...
And turns out she got married.
Well, what about that, Bob? What about that? I'm sure you chuckled with all your friends about that.
Hey, that was not supposed to go the way that went.
Well, this isn't going the way I thought it would go, either.
That's not my intentions,
So
okay?
what I'm saying is, there's a little bit of fault here on either side, and I feel...
Yeah, but I got to overlook the fact, because I'm sure he was chuckling. Hey, I got a chick who's into fat guys.
You did apologize. But Bob
somebody that liked you, that wanted to meet you.
Stop it, Bob. Why wouldn't you call me? Call me directly, then. Why go behind my back and put it on the show? How dare you? I don't even want you in Pittsburgh.
I've been sending in bits. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
So why does it have to be at the expense of me, your friend?
There's other ones.
All right. Greg is getting upset.
Well, I just think that both you guys should understand that the Godfather has set up this sit-down and that whatever he deems appropriate right now should be honored by both parties. Is that agreed to?
I don't know what you just said.
You're going to tell them what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Me?
But that's what the Godfather does. And then both parties have to agree.
You guys each have to pay me $1,000 apiece. And
You're no Godfather.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Listen, that's the way the mob would work. Actually, Bob, and I don't want to upset Bob with this, but in Chappelle's new HBO special, he eats
blue cheese?
Blue cheese out of a chick's ass. And I don't...
No, it's honey mustard.
Bob.
He changed it around. It was blue cheese.
Bob, Artie has apologized to you.
It's watermelon.
He says will you not say this anymore? Will you stop saying it?
I'll stop.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, I admit yesterday I crowbarred it in there because I think it's funny to talk about. But just like I have to forget about all the bullshit he gives me, I'll forget about this. Mr. Sensitive over here. And I won't use it at the roast anymore. You send me a list of what I'm allowed to bust your balls about.
I don't give a shit. You can do it on the roast, but you fucking reeled that in. They were doing a barbecue the rib fucking commercial. You threw it in, please.
Well, listen, we're trying to help Carson's rib. I know. All right. Listen, Bob. Okay. Well, I promise I will never do that again.
It's not that. You don't have to promise anything. It's just fucking treat a person like a friend if they're a friend.
I think I treat you like a friend, Bob. And it was two guys who were friends. I was busted. You weren't there. I don't think
you realized how sensitive he is.
Yeah, and you weren't there to defend yourself.
All right, Bob. You were not going on those shows with Artie, right?
Why?
He told me.
He says he's booked over him, Artie. What is he going to do?
I just know he's shooting himself in the foot. I know they're better money than he could make somewhere else. He's shooting himself in the foot.
How do you know that? You see, there you go, thinking I don't make any money, too.
Bob, I know you. We know each other. You know that Fox Theater, 6,000 seats, that's going to be a great gig.
Hey, Artie, you want to tell that story about Bob one more time since it's the last time we can hear it?
Put it to rest.
It is a good story. And first of all, I didn't know you wrote the joke about the only way you'd have a funny bone in your body is if I fucked. I didn't know you wrote that in the early 2000s. I have seen that. I have seen that as
he's still giving you the business, Bob.
I didn't know you wrote the one about waiting 30 minutes to go swimming either, so fucking give me a break.
Well, listen, absolutely. That could be an old joke as well. And I'm not going to defend that. I'm not going to defend that.
You know, I wouldn't go on attacking you about it. That's what I'm saying.
But, Bob, the point is I never came to you and said someone stole that joke. Do you know what I mean? I never if I heard that, I would be pissed off. That's an old joke.
Bob does not accept your apology. Am I right, Bob?
I was trying to do Bob a favor and saying, please don't make a big deal. Don't make a big deal out of this because it's going to become an issue, and now it's a big deal.
Now it's a big issue. You apologize. Bob,
Fine.
Fine what? Do you accept his apology?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Listen, do not book June 29th, okay? Come to Pittsburgh.
All right, we'll talk.
Now I feel bad that we'll work something out monetarily, but because Detroit's going to be big. Get out of that.
So that's what this is. Bob's going to hold him up for the extra dough.
So you will pay Bob. You will work out a remuneration.
No. I'm going to work out a situation because actually Greg just agreed to do Detroit too.
No. Now I'm not.
You can't?
I want more money.
I'm not working with this.
All right, thank you, Bob.
I'm losing all the guys I work with on the road now over this. So, Bob, listen, get rid of September 15th. Do me a favor.
I'll see you next week. I'll talk or I'll be there.
Well, do it now so the guy who you booked 15th with knows.
And keep September 11th open also.
Hey, listen, Bob, the 15th might not work out. What if there's a fire that night?
You're saying Bob only works firehouses? And there's going to be a fire and his whole audience is going to have to get up and leave?
That was Artie's version of now go get your shine box.
Yeah.
I hope Bob doesn't react the same way Pesci did. No,
get your lunchbox, Fatty.
Bob, you want to work with Artie that night, or do you want to work at a firehouse where your audience could potentially leave if there's a fire? Is what Artie is saying.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
You know how many babies have died because Levy was taking too long with the blue cheese?
Levy was killing.
Thank you, Bob.
Bob, you always kill, and you've literally killed.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, so we'll talk. I'm going to call you later.
Bob, I think you're the greatest. And
listen, Bob, I'm going to call you later. You take my message.
I like you.
I love you, Bob.
Who knew that? Who knew you would like Howard?
Howard.
Yes.
Take care, bro.
Take care, brother.
All right. You see, now you got to hit low.
Bob is my bro. Bob puts together the roast. He helps the show. He's a bro.
Well,
yes, Artie.
I had to come in. I wasn't scheduled, and I think this shows a lot about my integrity and my general class as a person. I wanted to officially apologize to Bob Levy on the wrap-up show, the show where all of this originated, and I didn't get a chance to really say it in Howard's studio, in Studio 69, but I'm saying it here. Bob's #1 with me.
Now, to show your integrity, you're going to do this without plugging it at any point at any time?
No, I'm not going to plug. Listen, I'm not going to plug anything. Listen, I hope Bob gets to Detroit's Fox Theater September 15th. I hope Bob goes to artie-lang.com and issues an apology to all the Artie Lang fans, and I hope that he comes to the Borgata July 13th.
Holding a DVD of Beer League in his hand.
Yes, and Beer League out on DVD. I don't think that, I hope Bob gets It's the Whiskey Talking and studies some of my act and notices that I write my own stuff. And
when he's sitting in that basement, he rents Dirty Work on pay-per-view.
And I hope he watches the Best of Artie Lang from Mad TV coming soon, I think, to DVD. And I hope that he comes to Cohasset, Massachusetts, August 3rd and 4th, and really apologizes to some of the New England fans because they're some of the best there is.
And if FX just happens to show up on his TV?
Yeah, and listen, if FX shows up on Rescue Me, he could always get drunk and pretend he's talking to me by talking to my character, Cousin Mike, on Rescue Me.
Hey, Artie, in all seriousness, on Rescue Me, I literally started TiVoing it solely for you. So what episode do you turn up
I think I'm in, like, 6 through 11.
All right, because I got the first 2 on TiVo, so I'm going to start watching it this year.
July 13th, 14th, around mid-July it starts.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether I should rush to watch them or not, because I'll make sure I'm up to speed by number 6.
Around 12 or 13, you're going to see me fucking a nun. It's going to be so great.
Mark in Virginia, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hello?
Mike, you there?
Yeah, what's up? I'm a big fan, Artie.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I really support you with this whole thing. I think Bob's out of line. I mean, you helped the guy out so much and everything.
Listen, Bob helps me out a lot, too. Listen, here's the thing, Bob. I'm sure Bob is chomping at the bit to say. He brought up, there's one joke that I do in my act that's sort of one of those public domain jokes. I've done it on TV. I just love it. It's one of my favorite jokes ever, and I put it in, and it was probably written years ago, and the joke is, I've never been swimming because it's never been half an hour since I last ate. That to me is just one of my favorite fat jokes ever, and I use it. It's the only joke that I have in my act that might be one of those public domain things, and Bob throws that up in my face, but the point is, I understand that it is, and if another comic used it somewhere in some sort of context, I could never honestly be mad at the guy. I would never bring up a fight and fight that fight. I would look ridiculous. So with Bob, you see, but I'm coming from the standpoint where I'm saying I didn't write the joke. That's a totally different thing. Bob's coming from the standpoint like, no, fuck you, I wrote the joke. That's why I'm so pissed, and I don't think I'm looking like an idiot. And sometimes you might have to just believe Bob and say, look, someone had to write those jokes, but Fitzsimmons' point is a good one, that it's not the smartest of jokes. Other people could have thought of it, so why choose that as a stance?
Right. Right.
I mean, people have the same thoughts a lot, you know.
Well, if you missed the beginning of the show, what really sort of tweaked Levy, here's Artie trying to explain the situation.
I see Bob as a guy, if I didn't have the luck I've had in my career, I could be a guy going from
like
gig.
Bob?
No, but I'm saying, Bob works hard, and he goes from gig to gig to make ends meet. And I've been blessed with some good jobs, and, you know, I don't have the money issues he has, and I feel, I give him gigs whenever I can. Right. I love working we're the same, we're like brothers in arms in a way. We drink, we like to party.
So why do you always pick this topic up that stabs him in the heart and you keep going back to it?
You know when you have a little brother or something, and there's something you know, if you tease him, it's just going to aggravate the fuck out of him.
You do enjoy aggravating.
I enjoy busting his ball.
Now, the official statement I've gotten from the Levy camp, because the wrap-up show did try to reach Bob Levy, is, I'm spending time with my son. I don't want to be on the radio all day. I'll be in on Tuesday.
This has got to be the first day ever he hasn't wanted to be on the radio all day.
And wanted to spend time with his son.
No, you see, that's low, Gary. I'm not going to sit here and let you do that to him. He's a great father. And he's told me and the dealer we were buying the Coke from at the same time he's a great father. No, listen, again, it's just odd to me that Levy can fuck with me on every sensitive, like he's brought up shit about my sister, my mother, my weight, the fact that I might die, my comedy, by the way, every single fucking thing. My roast was brutal, and I just have to sit there and he brings the fat chick in. He knows that's not a friendly thing. He knows, look, he could have called me up and said, I got a chick who wants to fuck you. Turns out that broad, I think, just got married. That was a total scam, and I'm supposed to let that brush off my back, and when I fuck with him a little bit, he's all wah, and I got to deal with him. I got to treat him like a 10th grader who I just made upset about something.
It seems like, though, and you alluded to it just there, but Bob certainly said it, the comedy. If you touch the comedy and your act, that's what sets everybody off. Like, that's the sensitive spot.
You know what?
Every comedian I know fucks with each other's act. They say, like, if you say something that might be too easy or hacky, or everybody does it to get out of a bad gig on the road, and people get fucked with. You get fucked with all the time, and to me it's crazy. Here's a guy who claims to be Mr. Roast, and he's got the thinnest of skin out of anybody.
Hey, Shuli, if you're around, come on down here. Shuli was giving me the rap today. He was sort of siding with Bob, just in the sense of, like, you don't goof on, like, when you get on the air, his feeling was, when Artie Lang gets on the air and says Bob isn't funny, the fans buy into it, and it hurts Bob.
Well, listen, to prove that Bob's funny, just come to any gig that I'm on with him, and you will see him kill harder than anybody. A lot of people have seen us together. They know Bob's funny.
By the way, the best joke written, maybe this entire year, was when you said that you've seen people laugh so hard that they hit their head on the fire hose. That joke was perfectly crafted, Artie. Thank you very much.
Hey, look, man, what are you going to do? I think Bob wrote that one.
So, Chili, say to Artie what you're saying to me today, how...
I was saying that as a comic, you know, the one Achilles heel every comic has is when another comic goofs on their material or says something.
We all do it. I don't know what comedians you're hanging out with, but every comedian I hang out with, we fuck on each other's material all the time.
But you know what? Maybe there's a difference between making fun of Bob's material in the green room when you're waiting to go on as opposed to on the show to the whole audience.
I admitted that yesterday I was out of line. I should not have crowbarred that, and Bob wasn't here. It came out of nowhere. And
Artie, like a few months back, like maybe 5 months back, like you and Richard were going at it on some stuff, and you made a comment, like a real slight, subtle comment about, you know, Richard's horrible on stage. The next 3-4 gigs we did, Richard couldn't get one joke out because the audience was jumping down his throat saying, you suck. So in a lot of ways, a lot of people that are listening, they hear what comes out of your guys' mouth.
I wish I could care less about that. I don't care.
Well,
I'm just telling you what the perception is.
I will tell you that Richard...
Fight through it. It'll make him a better comedian.
Richard was crushed. He was crushed when you said he wasn't funny.
I didn't say he wasn't funny. I said his stand-up, which is a totally separate fucking thing. John Belushi was funny. He wasn't a stand-up. I think Richard's a funny guy. I just think his stand-up needs work. That's all. Who the fuck wouldn't he? He's been doing it for how long?
You said his stand-up wasn't funny. You said it as a joke and a roast, but it hit him hard. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Listen, I don't do stand-up. I'm going to stop. I want everybody to submit all of the stuff I can talk about in a roast. Okay? I want my list of shit I can talk about. Well, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings at a roast anymore.
But at your roast, Gary, didn't Bob...
Fucking grow a dick.
Didn't Bob go after Artie's comedy?
Of course he did.
And it didn't really go over that well.
Well, I think that Bob tries to retaliate, and it's just not as good at it as Artie is.
Well, no.
But
Bob's the last roast was retarded. Look, that's the most flattering thing I've ever heard in my life, but to come in here and say they have too much respect for me so they won't laugh, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
And Artie, why do you think you were wrong yesterday and you say you crowbarred that in? Since when is breaking somebody's balls like a wrong thing to do, especially somebody who makes their living as a comedian?
Bob's part of the family here, I know, but he wasn't here. It was totally out of left field. And it didn't make him look good, and he's not here to defend himself. So I sort of get it, and I apologize for that. Honestly, I'm not kidding. I am sorry for that particular incident. I really am.
But there have been some things that you've done on the show where I've really felt that there's an anger. There was a diatribe.
It's not an anger. It's a breaking balls thing. I don't know how else I could tell you.
There was a diatribe you did here, right in the seat you're sitting on the wrap-up show. I think it was the day that girl, he brought in the girl who fact, and you go... You know, that's fine if you want to be a fucking loser who lives in your fucking bed. But it went on for a long time.
This is my fault. I was trying to do, it happened when the Phantom, me calling Howard a jerk thing happened during that.
Right.
Too. I was trying to do this goofy little character of a guy, you know what I mean? Like, and it was...
No, I got the joke.
And Levy got it too, and he didn't, Levy wasn't upset with that because he got I was trying to be funny. That was different.
I don't think Levy's being honest about that, too.
No, you know what?
I think Levy called Sal on that one.
But when these digs happen, I don't care what you guys say, there's underlying meaning behind them. It could be 99% of a joke and 1% of the truth, but there's definitely something there.
You're right. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Bob is the first person to write those jokes. I will go to my grave thinking that. Maybe Bob thought of them and someone else did, and he's not stealing it, but I don't think there's any way Bob's the first guy to write those two jokes, and I thought it was dumb for him to get mad at Dave Chappelle and pick that sort of show business argument to have. And I'll never think any differently than that.
But I'll play devil's advocate a little bit, be Bob, and I'll say, what are the comedian that you're friendly with, that you respect, do you fuck with like that?
Do you bust Nick DiPaolo's balls like that?
In different ways. See, I don't have the same issues with Nick. In other words, like I think Nick is an original guy, and I don't think Nick ever... what are you laughing at?
Because what you're saying is Bob is an unoriginal guy.
Yeah. Well, okay.
But I think it's ridiculous.
Right. I think that... okay, that came out wrong. I don't think Nick has any jokes that are jokes that someone else possibly could have written. He doesn't have any jokes that I've heard anywhere else, put it that way, okay? I've heard those jokes elsewhere, and people, internet, all that, we can look it up, and so I bust Nick's chops about other things, about his anger, about everything else, but I can't bust his chops about that because it's not the same situation.
But what I'm saying is, what other comedian do you bust their chops about their comedy besides Bob?
He's done it to Sal and Richard, and I'm not putting that on that level.
Name comedians is what Gary's trying to get at.
Comedians that have been doing comedy for a living for over 10 years.
That as a slam, but
comedians who've been doing comedy for a living for over 10 years. Have you ever goofed on Jim's act in Florentine? Have you ever goofed on Nick Capallo?
Yeah, not in the same way, but...
No, but like got on the air and said, God, Jim does some hacky jokes.
Like, that's where I think Bob's really hurt about all this. Seriously, like, he feels like there's a totem pole, and he's at the bottom, and no matter what, he's always going to get shit on because of his position on that totem pole.
Well, I don't know.
Did you fuck with Dice a little bit?
People...
With money.
Well, I don't know.
But Artie's not Dice's friend.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's easy.
Listen, I've always been able to be... The people I like the most are the people I'm able to be the most honest with, to tell you the truth. I feel comfortable around Bob. I like busting his chops. And he's probably the guy I fuck with the most. But he's the guy I've worked with the most in the last 7 years. But me and Norm used to fuck with each other. Me and Spade used to fuck with each other all the time.
But did you ever talk about that Spade or Norm wrote?
Well, I don't want to actually privately, but I don't want to get into any.
No, that's fine. I mean, but fucking with each other. If you do fuck with each other on that level, then those are guys that Levy's in company with.
Yeah. But hey, that's kind of interesting, though. Even though I thought this argument was ridiculous, but what Artie just said, like, I would never bring that up publicly. Right. What I said about Spade.
Right.
But you would bring Bob up.
Yeah, well, this has been out in the open now. I mean, there might be other issues I have with Bob, but I'm not saying it on the air.
Yeah, Artie almost went somewhere with that.
Yeah, I know.
He said,
believe me, I'm doing Bob a favor.
Was it racial
I'll tell you off the...
No, I know nothing about it, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it involves Artie lending money to somebody. No, got nothing to do with money. Again, I try to counsel Bob and Sal in the sense, not about comedy, but I think they're a little too rough around the edges with the racial shit, and there's no way, like Bob always talks about, why am I not on Conan, why am I not on Letterman? Well, first of all, a guy who has that joke in his act, I'm going to beat my dick like it owes me money, will never get on Conan, will never get on Letterman. As soon as a guy booking that show sees it, they're going to walk away. Do you have two different acts?
They're looking for very original material.
But Artie, do you have two different acts? Like, do you have an act that you do obviously live, but you have an act that you could do, have you...
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's like, look, there's old jokes like dealing with a heckler. There's old jokes I'll go to in a second on the road.
Right. No, I meant more like...
Saying shit like to a broad, like, I would fuck your brains out, but someone beat me to it. Like, stuff like that gets...
I don't slap the cock out of your mouth or your
I don't come to your job at Wendy's, knock the broom out. Shit like that, I'm ashamed to do, but sometimes to get a laugh, you have to, and that gets roared.
No, I meant more like if it were 10 years ago, and I told you were playing, Stand Up New York or whatever, and I said, hey, Artie, listen, the comedy booker for the Tonight Show's in the audience.
Oh, absolutely.
You have an act that you can do.
No, but you change. In other words, you'll try to make your act more clean, and you'll try to do your smarter stuff. Absolutely.
So you're saying that Bob doesn't have that act ready?
I don't think. Again, like Bob tried to get on Conan or Letterman or something, and he sent in a tape of him doing a dirty, filthy act at a club, and on it he wrote, could clean this up for television.
Right.
Well, you know, again, like I try to counsel him and go, Bob, you can't do that, because once the booker sees that, he's never going to look at you again. He hears the name Bob Levy. You're setting yourself back 10 years, and if Bob wants to break through that next level, and if Sal wants to do it too, again, the usage of the N-word, I mean, like, it's just like, you'll never get on television. You'll get on Stern because Howard's fascinated with people who have that kind of honesty. But regular show business, you will not get hired if you use the N-word the way Bob does, if you use it the way Sal does. And what I'm talking about, what I don't want to get into with Bob, is a racial thing that I was on my DVD, and I made my editor take off. After the Chappelle thing happened, I did a couple of gigs with Levy, and he said something that Bob didn't want me to take off, and I said, take it off, because I'm not even going to say what it was, because it's better if it's in your imagination. And I've tried to tell him and Sal that, and they don't want to listen to me. They just think that whatever makes people at Chuckles and Jerk Off Montana laugh will get them to the next level, and it won't. It will just get them paid the $300 at Jerk Offs in Montana. That's all it's going to get. And I don't care if it kills, how hard they laugh. You got to get on Letterman, Conan, to get on a television show, you have to, even something as awful as
adapt.
Even if something as awful as those Guys' Choice Awards I just did, even to get a gig like that, you have to have more original, smarter shit. You just have to.
I met Buddy Hackett in Vegas, who is like the king of filthy comics, and I asked him the difference between clean comics, dirty comics, what do you think you should do? And he looked right at me, he said, if you can work clean, you can work anywhere. That's the bottom line. And once you've established yourself, then you can do your own thing.
But Buddy Hackett's a bad example. Buddy Hackett's a guy from the old school. He tells old jokes, you know what I mean? And those guys used to be rewarded. But since George Carlin and Richard Pryor came in, and it became more about, the singer-songwriters, the same thing, writing your own stuff that you do in your act. But since that guard came about, it's just, to get into mainstream the way Hackett did, you can't be the guy telling old jokes, and you could be dirty, but you're going to get on HBO. You're not going to get, and you're not going to get corporate gigs, but now there's corporate gigs that let dirty shit happen as long as it's a different world.
Let's work some calls in, guys. Roscoe in Philly, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. I'm from Philadelphia, so I have the unfortunate pleasure of listening to Bob Levy's ass on the Kid Chris show every time, where he's trying to work clean. Have you guys ever heard him on that show?
Bob's always funny on the radio when he was on. When we were on regular radio, I think he's always funny, clean or not, on the radio, without question.
Hey, Art, yeah, I agree. Levy's all right. We saw him down in Seattle City at this comedy.comedy. I don't know what it is, but it's a pretty good show.
Yeah, no, look, the guy's a great
the
guy's a great comedian.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying Levy's a bad comedian.
But
Artie's
that's
talking
what
more
he's
about,
hearing, though.
but I know, but Artie's talking more about his style of comedy and not. Well, I'm going to put words in your mouth. Artie's like, look what I've done. There's a reason I'm at the level that I'm at. If you could tweak here and there.
I don't want him to be, again, it makes me sound like I'm trying to be cocky. I'm not. I'm just saying, I'm stating a fact. That if you want to get to the next level and you want to get off some of these shit road gigs, you got to get to the next level material-wise.
Julie and I had this conversation today, and Julie goes, listen, every time Bob goes out, Bob brings down the house. I go, I totally agree. But look at the houses he's bringing down, and look at the houses Artie's bringing down. And you got to move to the next...
Again, there's not much difference, but...
Artie, there's a big difference between Carnegie Hall and Chuckles.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Carnegie Hall was filled with guys who would probably go see me anywhere. I mean, that was our fans. That was the guys that come out, and they see a lot of the shows. But my point is, if a crowd's that easy... Challenge yourself. You know what I mean? Don't, like if you know you can get a laugh with some of the older, dirtier shit, try to weave in stuff that's more of, not even smart jokes, like tell stories, do stuff that's more interesting than...
Evolve as a comic.
Well, yeah, because the crowd is so into you, that's a perfect time to try out new shit.
Hey, Artie, was begging Bob to kind of make up with you to still do the gigs, was that more you felt bad for him shooting himself in the foot, or more you feel you really want to meet him?
Listen, let me tell you something. If I didn't think Bob was good, I would not have him on these shows. These shows are a reflection of me. There's press at these shows, and these are big gigs I have people on. Atlantic City, the Borgata, there's always press there. There's Fox Theater in Detroit. So if I thought he sucked, I wouldn't have him on the shows. And I like working with him. The shows are funnier with him, and that's why I felt bad that, he wasn't going to be doing them. I want him there.
Sonny in Middlesex, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, first of all, Artie, don't get me wrong. Don't ever stop busting balls. That was one of the best fights, I think, they've ever had on the show today.
Right, well, that's the Stern show, So.
Levy, I think, was crying through that whole thing. But I wanted to... My thing with you is, why would you say that Chappelle used that joke in the context of what a hacky comedian would say? I mean, it had nothing to do with it. Did you actually see the sketch?
You know what? That's an excellent point you're making, Sonny. And again, I misspoke there. And again, I don't have any proof of this. I was just putting myself in the writer's room where I've been a million different times, and sometimes you go, okay, it's Oscar the Grouch singing a song, all right? It's what kind of shit would Oscar the Grouch say, that character? And you're not going to think of Bill Hicks jokes, you're not going to think of something as clever or as brilliant as something that might come out of, Chris Rock's mouth, or Dave Attell, or Brian Regan. You're going to think, okay, what would a guy like Oscar the Grouch say? And to me, that's like, okay, what would a hack comic say?
But you made a leap to that.
But that's what the way Mutt described it.
I do make a leap to it, and that was wrong.
But the way Mutt described it sounded like a drunk doing a hacky joke.
Right, it was a drunk Oscar the Grouch. To me, okay, let me put it to you another way, Sonny, because you're making a good point. I did misspeak there. to me, if a drunken Oscar the Grouch singing a song parody on a show used one of my jokes, I'd be a little offended. I'd be like, what do you think, Oscar the Grouch is going to write jokes like I do? Like that? I mean, I would be. Anybody would. And that, I'm telling you, that's the way
Sesame Street character would you feel a little honored by?
I'm
like
just saying, Oscar the Grouch drunk is not something I would expect to. You're saying he wrote the joke because he wrote the song. I don't put him on the level comedically as me.
Like your Snuffleupagus.
It got the biggest laugh of the whole sketch, and you could watch it on YouTube.
Of course it did. Of course it did. Because people, there's a reason hack comics work. They kill.
Oh,
They do. They kill. And I don't think Bob's... I'm talking... First of all, you don't hear me bringing up the rest of his act. I'm taking issue with 2 jokes. The rest of his act is funny. He does an hour.
That's what the audience is going to remember is those 2 things.
And you did tell him... Bob could do an hour without doing those 2 jokes. And I think if anything comes out of this, maybe... He'll challenge himself to write better shit.
And you did tell him when he works with you to not do the blue cheese bit, true?
Huh?
You told him when he works with you not to do the blue cheese bit.
I went up to him and I said, Bob, listen, dude... And again, he said, it kills all the time. I'm like, I know it kills, Bob, but it's like following a rape. I have to go on.
That's my next act.
Right. I have to go on stage, and you just sexually assaulted a drunk girl. Some people are laughing. Some people are offended. Some people want to call the cops. Some people are throwing up. Now, I got an 8-foot hole to dig out of.
Including Bob.
And I said, Bob, listen, you can't do it anymore. And he was fine. I won't do it. And you know what? He still destroys. Without that, he still destroys.
Absolutely. I have a question for Artie. What is typically Bob's act? I've never seen it.
It's great.
When Bob comes in here, I've always find him funny.
It's a lot of...
but hearing that, that almost seems to be the thing that sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like he's a very funny guy. He's verbal. But to do the blue cheese thing, I don't know if
There's another...
I'm just wondering if that isn't if it's a jackass
He works
thing.
the crowd a lot, and he's very good at that. He's like a technician with it, which is I'm envious of. I'm not that good on stage with the crowd.
He's like a Rickles in a way. With the
but
audience.
in a way,
is that his stairway to heaven?
He goes and attacks
right?
people.
He's like Don Rickles.
He's an attack comic.
He's exactly like Don Rickles.
But if he stopped doing it, would people be disappointed?
Right. But listen, there's another thing I fucked with him about that he gets mad about too. And Levy has this joke. He has a joke about a guy with a big head. Right. So in every show, he goes, look at the size of the head on this guy. Now, to me, I think I busted his balls. I go, Bob, even when there's not a guy with a big head, you just say that. And people in the back don't know that. He's rattling off 4 big head jokes. And I'm like, well, he goes, no, the guy really has a big head in the front row. And I'm like, well, there's times I've seen that there's no guy with a big head. You just point to a guy and he's looking around. Do I have a big head?
The biggest head in the room.
Right. And then he just does 4 big head jokes. And, I busted his balls about that, too, and he gets mad, and I stop. I love busting his chops about it. What do you want me to tell you?
Bob's act is, he is sort of like what you hear on Miserable Men. He talks about relationships, and he talks about women. It's a dirty act, but I think it's very funny. I mean,
he's creepy, he's angry, and he attacks the audience, and he makes them feel a part of the show.
Listen, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of some of the greatest. He's written jokes. I heard jokes that he hadn't done before a couple of times that when he's just riffing on stage, and I go, Bob, and Bob is bullshitting if he says this isn't true. I pulled him aside and go, Bob, that last line you did was fucking amazing. You should do that all the time. So he's great. I'm talking about one joke. I'm not sitting here going, he's got an hour of hack shit. You go see Bob, you're going to hurt your gut laughing. I'm taking issue with 2 jokes, and I'm busting a comedian's balls away. Noel, who's a friend, I'm busting his chops. He takes it way too wrong.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back...
Wait a second. Artie...
He's not a hack comedian. He's a great comedian who does a couple of hack lines, and I think maybe he can improve on that. That's exactly what I think.
Sounds like Imus.
That's the best way... but you know what, Fred, I know, but that's the best way I can describe what I'm talking about.
He's a
great comic who...
did a bad thing.
Artie, I know you have to go now. You're going to be playing the Funny Bone soon?
Actually, the only way to be a funny bone is if I fuck this club.